So up and running then for the 2022-23 season. Was happy to finally get a win on the board, of course, and was also happy to see Sasha Kalajdzic make his first start for us. I thought he was straight away offering a lot more than Raul has done in the past few games. We were looking to get more crosses into the box. He was holding up his man and occupying defenders very, very well. So it was nice to see someone do that again for us. Unfortunately, he looks like he's gone down to pretty innocuous challenge, and then he's gone down holding his knee, which we know he's had problems with in the past. So hopefully it's nothing serious, and then he can come back after a nice week's rest now for when he's going to be needed, which is these next two games against Liverpool and Man City, which, judging by Liverpool's performance earlier today, maybe we'd be able to get some points out of that game, or a point. And then Man City, I'm obviously not very, very hopeful for. But our defence has looked really, really good in these last few games. It's the attack that's the problem. I mean, Collins and Kilman again today were pretty good. They nullified most of Southampton's wing play through the central play. Everything was pretty predictable from Southampton. So I don't feel like they carved out a major opportunity apart from the one where Che Adams just basically could have headed into an empty net and instead decided to handball it for literally no reason. So we got away with one there, but I'm just so happy to finally get a win on the board. And I thought that Nunes today, or Mateus as he wants to be called, was so good, especially in the second half. I feel like he really took the game by the scruff of the neck. Ruben was great defensively, but he didn't have his best game going forward, and I think Nunes really steps into that role quite well today. So I feel like this is a performance that we can build on, and hopefully we can take this into the next two games. For me, Neto's still not looking great, really frustrating to watch. I still feel like Adama maybe deserves a start, but for me, I was really happy with the entire performance. I mean, it was probably not as good as our Spurs performance, but still, it's just nice to finally get a result in a results-based business, essentially. So, yeah, really, really good, and hopefully we can get a point out of the next game. That would be lovely.
Hi boys, thanks for having me on. Just got back from the game, so thought I'd give you my opinion. I actually can't believe Wolves have played a game of football in the Premier League and scored more goals than the other team. Really didn't look like this day was going to come for the past 5 or so games. But it very much needed to come, because if it wasn't coming today, then it wasn't going to come in the next few games, and then Bruno's in real trouble. I didn't think Bruno out calls were in any way justified so far, but he was really pushing it. If we get into those games against Liverpool, City, etc., and still haven't won a game, then you can't really say anything. So we had to win today, so I'm very glad we've done that. I thought Sasha, the new boy, was a breath of fresh air. Every time we got the ball, he was sprinting towards the box, trying to get in between the posts, in positions to score. That's not something Raul's done since he had his head caved in, if we're being totally honest. It always seems to just be lingering around, like, we need somebody in between the posts looking to get on the end of things, and that's exactly what he was doing. Obviously, considering he came in midweek, like, I wasn't expecting him to play the full 90 minutes, but getting an injury that early on is a bit worrying. We'll have to see how that goes. I thought Neto, even though he didn't have the best game in a Wolves shirt, I thought he always gave 100%. It was the final ball that wasn't really coming off for him, but he was getting close enough, and he was getting slagged off a lot in the stands, and I thought that was uncalled for. If he puts in like shifts like that every week, then he'll be absolutely fine. Johnny was much better. I thought he's been a liability over the last couple of weeks, but he really put a shift in today, made a good couple of runs, good few passes, nearly scored a banger. Would have been nice to see, but is what it is. I thought Nunes, he probably had his best game today. He's slowly getting towards the pace of the Premier League. He put a graft in. If he keeps playing like that, we're going to have a player on our hands. We'll have a job keeping someone like that. Going forward into the next few weeks, obviously we're not expecting anything from Liverpool, but considering the way they're playing at the minute, you never know. We always turn up against teams like that, so we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
It's finished Wolves 1, Southampton 0. We needed that massively, needed that. I don't think we particularly played very well again. I think probably about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, I think we managed to muster up today. Find it a bit difficult to review these games at the moment because they all seem to be very similar in the way that we're playing. We seem to get forward well, okay, but then it's just the end result. As always, 3 or 4 times today we could have scored more goals if we just had a better pass, or somebody made a different run, or somebody shot, or people shoot on target. It's little margins like that that are killing us at the moment with we're scoring more goals. But let's think of the positives. 3 points on the board, a massive win in the grand scheme of things, and a massive win for the manager and for the players, as a lot of the Wolves fans were starting to get on the players' backs. Kilman Collins again. It's difficult. Every time I come away from Molineux, or anywhere really this season, I haven't once said that Kilman and Collins have had a bad game. So touch wood that continues. I thought Johnny in the first half was horrendous, but then we brought on a different right back, it seemed, with the same name, who tore it up in the second half. So that was great to see him actually, you know, commit forward and defend well and take some chances, which was great to see. I thought Neary had a good game, all in all as well. No qualms with the back four really. The midfield three I thought were decent. Nunes is unreal today. What man of the match for me today. Neves, once again, class. He seems everywhere at the moment, tackling, you know, creating space, creating passes. It's brilliant to see. I thought Matinho was pretty poor. It's 2 weeks now in a row. Well, Bournemouth and today that I thought that he hasn't had the best of games. And then you look at the front three. We played Big Sash today up front. Did well, I thought. He's a good out ball. He made some good runs into the box. Didn't really have a chance to do much really, coming off at half-time injured, which hopefully it seems that it's not going to be too bad. With no Raul on the bench today being injured as well, I hope that Sasha isn't a big injury and it's just something minor, and as precaution we took him off, being 1-0 up. But I thought Guedes coming on did well. He's quite lively. He likes to make runs in the channels and in behind. And I thought Podence and Neto did okay. Neto, he's really frustrating me at the moment. I think that his lack of confidence is really hurting him at the moment. But I think it will come for Neto as long as he keeps putting in the work, and I'm sure it will click for him at some point in the season. Maybe all of this speculation with him going somewhere else might have been hindering his performance, so he can get his head down now and play some good stuff. But yeah, it was good that we didn't really give much to Southampton. I thought they had maybe 20 minutes in the game where they had that disallowed goal and they hit the bar. I think apart from that, really, they didn't really do much to us, which was good. So yeah, now we really needed that. Seems as we now have Liverpool and Man City as our next two, which is always fun. So yeah, moving on to Liverpool next week. Let's take this week and build on it. Hopefully we can get something at Liverpool. Cheers for everyone, boys. Have a good week. See you later.
It's finished Wolves 1, Southampton 0. Coming away from that game, can we even say we won it? Obviously we did, but the way we played in certain areas and stuff like that, to me, I'm going to say it, and I feel like everybody else on these videos will say it. It's just the same stuff. Obviously, Sasa came on, obviously having his debut game, and got clobbered, took out, injured. But like I say, it's early days for the geezer, so it's one of them. For me, long balls were coming in after Sasa came off, so it was a bit confusing for that. But it's just the same again. It's to be honest, I feel like we got lucky today. I thought at one point Prudence actually missed the goal. But you know what? At the end of the day, a win's a win. We're coming back with 3 points. And these kind of games you've just got to take, as we've got City and Liverpool next. For me, there's still a lot of work for Bruno to do. Obviously, he's saved now, because it was looking a bit shaky for him. But for me, I feel like now it needs to start falling into place. We've got the transfers, we've been backed. Now let's just start getting the players back to how they was before, and let's just start getting Wolves back to where we was. But like I say, there's still a lot of work to be done after that game. Like I say, I don't think we won it comfortably, but there was at times where I was clinching onto my seat thinking, any minute now we are going to concede a goal. But you know what, we held our own. Collins had a good game as well as Johnny. He nearly had his own goal, to be honest. Johnny nearly absolutely rifled one home. But you know what, defence played well, and it's one of them now. Let's just keep it up. Let's keep the winning streak up against Liverpool. They drawn today. Let's get a win against them, and come on the Wanderers.
Finally, we get a win. That was needed. Yeah, Mateus Nunes, what a player. I mean, just, it's so good to see a midfielder like running forward, putting early balls into the box, especially for the goal, and he did it again a few times in the second half. Neto, it was clear that he wasn't getting that much space on the right-hand side to cut back onto his more favoured left foot, and I felt like Adama again could have come on a little bit earlier, especially being a right footer on the right-hand side. Podence had a really good game, nice linking up the play from midfield to attack, and Sasa had a good 45 minutes, like keeping some defenders occupied and some decent hold-up play as well. Hopefully his injury isn't that serious, and especially if we want to give Adama a new contract, then he needs to be playing more than 10 minutes per game.
All right, watched the game this morning from here in the States, and it was a good one. It was really motivating to see, because I think this is one of the first games that I've seen recently that Wolves really looked like they were playing to win rather than just looking like they were playing not to lose. It seemed like they were a lot more aggressive with their attacks. They felt a lot stronger moving up the field and actually going for those goals. So really hope that we can continue driving that offense, and I just think our defense is doing such a good job that we can really focus on giving them a lot more pressure and hopefully getting more goals. It's a bummer that we only got 1 goal out of the game. I was hoping for more, 2 or 3, and it looked like we were getting close on a few of those. So hopefully as they, continue with their new roster, they can just really start converting a lot more. And not a perfect performance, but really motivating and made me hopeful for the next few games. And I know their big games are going to be tough, so hopefully we can hold off these big teams and get some points. So cheers from the States.